Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. We're diving into a topic that's been on the minds of many Steelers fans lately. It's about a position that's been somewhat of a question mark, a need that's lingering in the back of everyone's mind as we head into the new NFL season. And no, I'm not talking about the defense, which, let's be honest, has been pretty solid in recent years. I'm talking about the wide receiver core, specifically the search for a number 2 receiver that can really make a difference in this offense. You see, the Steelers, despite having a pretty promising young talent in Calvin Austin, and Roman Wilson, still seem to be holding their breath, waiting for that game-changing receiver to step up and help take their offense to the next level. And what's interesting is that, even with training camp underway and the roster starting to take shape, the conversations about potential trades or signing a free agent haven't really heated up. That's not to say the Steelers aren't exploring options behind the scenes, but it's clear that their priorities might be shifting, or at least they're playing it cautious. Still, the need remains. They need someone who can step in, command attention on the field, and be a reliable target for Kenny Pickett, someone who can help turn close games into wins. The question is, who could that be? Now, I know many fans are wondering whether the team will pull the trigger on a big move, or if they'll stick with what they have and develop their young receivers. But what's fascinating is that this team, despite the uncertainty at wide receiver, is still looking to capitalize on what they believe to be a window for a deep playoff run. And let's be honest, that window might be fragile, but the Steelers are trying to make the most of it. They've been aggressive in free agency and trades, bringing in players with Super Bowl experience, guys who have been there and done that when it matters most. That's a significant point because it shows a mindset of winning now, even if the division is stacked with talented teams like the Ravens and Bengals. Speaking of experience and potential solutions, there's one name that's been floated around quite a bit, Odell Beckham Jr. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Really? Beckham? Well, folks, it's not as crazy as it sounds. According to Pro Football Sports Network's Jacob Infante, Beckham could be a potential answer to the Steelers' wide receiver dilemma. Sure, he's not the player he was a few years ago, especially coming off that torn ACL in Super Bowl LVI. But let's not forget, Beckham has a wealth of experience, a knack for making spectacular plays, and he's played in a Super Bowl himself. But here's the thing, Beckham is nearing 33 years old now, and since that ACL tear, his performance has been somewhat inconsistent. He played for the Los Angeles Rams in 2021 and looked like a true superstar before his injury, even giving the Rams a shot at Super Bowl MVP. But since then, things haven't been quite the same. His stint with Baltimore in 2023 was unremarkable, just 35 catches for 565 yards and 3 touchdowns in 14 games. Last year with Miami, well, it was even worse. Only 9 games, just 9 catches, and only 55 yards. So it's pretty clear that Beckham isn't the dominant receiver he once was, and at this stage of his career, he's probably looking to join a contender, a team where he can contribute in a limited role but still have an impact. And that's where the Steelers could come into the picture. They're one of the few teams that might fit that scenario, someone with experience, a veteran presence, and the willingness to accept a lighter workload. But let's be honest, bringing Beckham into the fold this late in the offseason would seem a bit desperate, especially for a team that's been trying to avoid the label of desperate with their bold moves this summer. Still, the idea of signing a veteran with Beckham's pedigree does raise eyebrows, especially considering the Steelers' current status as a team that's trying to rebuild or at least push for a playoff spot. However, many fans and analysts would argue that signing Beckham might not be the best move. They believe that Pittsburgh should focus on finding a veteran at wide receiver who doesn't carry the media baggage or recent injury history that Beckham does. Instead, they'd prefer someone with a better recent track record of production, someone who can step in and produce right away, rather than waiting for Beckham to find his rhythm again. Because, let's be honest, the Steelers are in a bit of a tricky spot. They're trying to balance the desire to make a playoff push with the reality that their current roster might need more stability and consistency at receiver. And it's not just about filling a spot. It's about building an offense that can truly threaten defenses and make life easier for Kenny Pickett. The young quarterback has shown promise, but a reliable, veteran target could do wonders for his development and confidence. The Steelers have been known over the years for their disciplined, physical style of play, but in the modern NFL, having that explosive playmaker on the outside makes all the difference. So, whether it's through a trade, a free agent signing, or developing their young guys, the Steelers are clearly aware of this gap and are trying to find the right solution. But let's not forget, this team has also been making other moves that reflect a different kind of strategy, one that's not necessarily desperate but calculated. They've brought in experienced players via free agency, guys who know what it takes to win in the league, and that's a smart move in many ways. Still, the question remains, will they gamble on a veteran like Beckham, knowing his recent struggles and injury history? Or will they stick to their plan of developing the young receivers and trusting their existing roster? It's a fascinating situation, and as fans, we're all eager to see how this plays out. The Steelers are a team with a rich history of resilience and smart decision-making, but sometimes, you have to take a gamble, especially when the clock is ticking on a championship window. And this season, everything seems to be pointing toward a team that's trying to balance experience with youth, all while facing stiff competition in their division. Now, I want to touch on the bigger picture here. The AFC North is arguably one of the most competitive divisions in the league right now. The Ravens have been aggressive and smart in their moves, adding key players and developing a strong defense. The Bengals, with their dynamic offense led by Joe Burrow, are always in the mix. And the Steelers, as much as they're trying to make a splash, are still trying to find that perfect piece to turn a good team into a great one. It's a division that's fiercely contested, and every move counts. So, as we look ahead, the big question is, will the Steelers make a bold move before the season starts? Will they pull the trigger on a veteran like Beckham or look for a different solution altogether? It's one of those storylines that will keep fans on the edge of their seats, and honestly, it's what makes this offseason so intriguing. Because in the NFL, sometimes the difference between a deep playoff run and an early exit is just one player, one play, or one smart decision. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think signing Beckham would be a smart move, or do you believe the team should stick with what they have and focus on developing their young receivers? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. We're in this together, and I can't wait to see what this season holds for our team. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's go Steelers!